and welcome. I'm going to be doing a watercoloring card today using this Spellbinders Garden Snail background stamp, and I also have a coordinating stamp and die set that kind of matches up with that. I'll be doing some watercoloring, so I like to clear heat emboss using VersaFine Black Onyx ink just to kind of form a little cup to hold some of my water here. So I will be doing the background stamp first. And then I'm going to apply my clear embossing powder on top of that. And I use the Recollections brand Clear Detail Embossing Powder. I'm also going to be stamping out a couple of the individual images from the other set, the little mushroom and the crystal and the snail there. And I'm going to heat emboss those as well. I'm going to be painting them at the same time so that I use the same colors so that everything matches up. And I'm taking care when heating it up with my heat tool to get every last nook and cranny. It's a pretty detailed stamp. Just want to make sure that I hit all the areas. I'll be using my Reeves 18-piece watercolor set that I picked up inexpensively at Michael's, and an old stained palette there that I got from Holler. Off camera I have a cup of clean water, some inexpensive paintbrushes from Joann's, and a roll of paper towel. I do have to get up frequently. This video will skip around a bit in between different color families and rinse my paint cup out in the kitchen sink. I do not have a a sink near my craft area. I actually have to get up like a commoner and change my water in the kitchen. I'm going to start with doing a very light wash of light blue across all of the images. This is to kind of paint the background sky, if you will, for my scene. It worked out a little bit easier. I did this a couple of times before I started filming. I replicated this card, and it worked out a little bit easier to have it blue before you start painting. And the blue is not dark enough that it's not going to alter any of the colors that I'm going to put on top of it, but it's going to leave a little bit, a hint of blue around all of the images in the background. And I'm not too worried about the edges because I'm going to fussy cut that whole background out when I'm done. So again, this is just to get the background little sky area all blue. And I will take my heat gun and I will hit the paper with the heat gun just to make sure that it's completely dry before I start putting other colors on top of it. I'm not really good at mixing colors. I just kind of play and have fun with it and mix it until I get to something that I like. I started with the blues because I already had the blue out, and I did everything, painted everything on here that I wanted blue, and then I went into the kitchen and changed my water. Then I came back and did green, and so on and so forth. So basically I just did one color family at a time, painted everything. It's a really busy image, but as long as I isolated it by color family, it seemed to paint pretty quickly. I did a couple of these in just a day, just painting. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's really pretty too. I love the little snails. So I'm just hitting all the little fine details, and I'm not sure if I show it or not in the video, but I do in between different sections, I'd hit it with the heat tool. Oh, there we go, just to get it dried. In particular, I just did some yellow there in the center of those lily flowers. Just wanted to make sure that it's dry because I'm going to come in with a little orange right now and blend it out. I'm not going for art, I'm going for fun. And I did have a lot of fun with this project. And I made some pink for those roses there. I'm still not sure I'm happy with my pink mixing skills, but it worked. As you can see, we're just about half done. I'm mixing a little bit of brown in with what I had left over from the red that I half used for the pink because I wanted a really dark, kind of brownish red cap for my mushrooms, and I still think it was a bit lighter than I had intended, but it worked. I'm painting those mushroom caps. I'm painting them without regard to the circles, the dots, because I'm going to go in afterwards and put some gel pen on them. Makes it a lot easier to just paint the whole image without really worrying about the details until later. And I think I fast forwarded through most of the mushroom coloring. I did try to cut out a good portion of the coloring while still showing a portion of it, probably a good 40 minutes worth of just coloring for this. In the interest of time, I did try to ice sped it forward and cut out a significant amount. I disregarded the details on the stalks of the mushrooms as well because, again, I'm going to come in with a gel pen and color over those once the image is dry. The little snail is adorable. We have 7-ish snails in our fish tank. It's hard to tell for sure because they're really good at hiding and they do die periodically. So I'm not sure how many are alive currently. They are cute though. I love to see them. Their little mouths eating the algae in the side of the tank. I decided that those crystals were like an amethyst, so I made a purple-ish color. I'm not entirely sure that I'm pleased with that particular shade, but that was as best as it was going to get. Just coming in to color the ground area there. And then I mixed some black in with that brown that I had from the ground area to make a darker shell on the snail. And then finish that up with a couple little details on the snail. And then I'm going to let this image dry for a couple of hours actually to make sure that it's completely dry. Then I'm coming back with my Jelly Roll white gel pen and putting those details in that I talked about earlier on the mushroom caps and the mushroom stalks. Just kind of going over it a little bit with the white gel pen. Now it doesn't turn the area completely white, but it does lighten the color that's underneath it. Then I'm putting some little shine details on the amethyst crystals as well. And it's completely dry, so I'm actually going to, like I said earlier, fussy cut the background out along the edges. And I'm going to mount that to the front of my card. And then I come in with my Gemini and I die cut the little pieces using the coordinating dies as well. Now there's a couple of ways to put together this card, and this was not the first time that I had done this project. And I think I'm going to show you in a minute one of the first ones that I had made with this project, and I decided to use the extra pieces on the inside of the card to kind of decorate the inside. Here we go. So this is one of the earlier ones that I did, just showing my coloring. And I put those pieces on the inside of the card, but I wanted to do something different with this one. So I mounted the cover piece, the background, to a piece of My Favorite Things light craft cardstock base that I had made using leftovers from a kit from a while back. Still trying to use up stuff from my stash. So I'm going to mount that on there, and the images that come from the separate set are just slightly larger than the matching images that come on the background. So I'm going to mount them up with foam tape, and I'm going to adhere them onto the background directly over its coordinating image. And what this is doing is it's giving it a little bit of dimension, but as you move the card, you can still see the painting that's underneath it. It gives it a really cool effect, like some of those higher end stickers, layered stickers that still have the printing behind it. I thought it turned out really cool. So that's kind of the two different versions that I came up with. And of course we don't have a sentiment in these yet. And I didn't want to put anything on the outside of the card because I didn't want to distract from that fabulous background. So I'm going to stamp a sentiment directly inside. And of course I could always use birthday cards. I picked for my stash, I have an Avery Elle set called Brushed that has that really funky font, happy birthday greeting. And I thought that would be perfect for the inside of the card. So I'm going to stamp that right on the inside, and then I will go ahead and stamp it in the other card as well. I turn them both into birthday cards. I go through a ton of birthday cards. And I use some My Favorite Things Extreme Black ink to do that. And then there we go. Then the project is done. I hope that you have enjoyed. I'm going to have product links down below. If you have any questions or anything, do feel free to let me know in the comments. And again, that is the Spellbinders Garden Snail background, and then the coordinating. It's sold separately, but it is a coordinating stamp and die set as well that goes with it. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching and for all your support. I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye!